it and how they dealt with it. What is yours? We'd like to get your comments on WhatsApp 0244340437. Again, WhatsApp 0244340437. What were your post-marital shockers after you got married? What did you discover about your spouses that was a shock to you? How did you handle it? How is that helping your marriage today? Okay, we want to hear it also on Facebook. That is Facebook.com/JoyTime. Okay, you can send it there. So let me come to my studio guest now, Mrs. Flora Ansaki. She's a family life educator and a counselor. Good evening, ma'am. Thank you once again for coming. We're happy to have you. God bless you.
Thank you for inviting me.
We thank God. We thank God. Okay, so let's start off with this question. For those who probably don't understand early marriage shockers, what are they? What exactly are they?
Shockers are things that surprise you after marriage you didn't expect. Most often it's the character, the attitude of your spouse that you didn't know before. Okay. It can also be circumstantial, things that you didn't expect to hit at you in the relationship. So let me start with the character. The character. Good. Yeah, most often we are attracted to the other person by their strengths. Nobody will say, I hate your face, let's marry. Or, I don't like your character, let's marry. We always get attracted to somebody who is good in something we are not so good in. So we admire them. And the admiration sometimes attracts us. And then they may lead to marriage. So somebody who is a very jovial, friendly, warm, lively kind of person gets attracted to the quiet, shy person because sometimes they feel guilty that they talk too much or they are too loud. And then those who are also quiet and shy, which they were, outgoing and they were warm and friendly, confident, able to speak their mind like the other person. So they're getting, attracted and they marry. But when we are in courtship, we focus more on the person's strengths and the things that we enjoy about them. We give little thought to the other side. We don't see, or even when we see
their weaknesses or their
weaknesses or flaws. Yes, even when we see them, we think that it's no big deal. When we marry, we'll sort them out, and then when we marry, it becomes a shock, especially with those who didn't have much time to really know each other well, And sometimes sometimes God gives us the red light, especially with the women, because we are so eager to marry. We think that when we marry, we can handle them.
It will change or she will change. No, so how come people usually ignore the red flags during courtship, and then suddenly the same things are manifested after their marriage has been, if you will, executed, and then they begin to act like, I'm so shocked. But this was stuff that they were saying. How does that happen? I mean, from where you sit as a family life educator and a counselor, why is it that this happens?
Sometimes they even blame God.
Oh, wow.
The thing is that for us women, marriage is first, like life and death issue for us. We were made for marriage and for relationships. So a woman, things are changing though, but deep down, the average woman wants to get married. Yeah, maybe you have not been able to get somebody for some time. It's like you are crossing the threshold. And for us, even childbearing, you have time limit. After some years, it will be dangerous, or you may not even be able to give. So when somebody comes, you feel like you are blessed. And you think, if you see, most of it, we see those things, and we think that we can manage them. But then we get, disappointed. And then in this era, most people focus so much on the wedding day. Strangely, every focus, the energy
on the ceremony
is the ceremony, and they hardly think beyond so you marry a stranger and then you are shocked to see. And psychologically, most people get married to their opposites. A lot of opposite extroverts. Men will look for introvert women, and the introvert men will also look for extrovertish women. And the thing is that if the other person is your direct opposite, you get attracted because he's strong in areas where you are weak. And you may not pay attention to the other person's weakness, or you see it and you think that, oh, we can handle it when we marry. So when you get inside the marriage, then you realize that where you are strong is where the person is weak. And if you don't focus on each other's strengths, but rather where the other person is weak, you get disappointed and frustrated. And it doesn't take long for you to want to opt out, especially in this in this era where divorce is so rampant, so easy
it's
to
so
get.
Easy. People, some can just walk out one day after the marriage or a week or something. It's weird.
Oh, strange. A pastor told me that a certain lady wanted to divorce her husband because he ate oranges in an offensive way. And one day, when they were courting, didn't she see him eat orange even one day?
Okay, I'm completely lost now. How do you eat oranges in an offensive way?
It's like they said in tree, you said the kutu chom chom chom.
He was eating like a chipmunk, eh? Lord help me. So mannerism can also be, I mean, you talk about character and then
attitude.
Also attitude and mannerism. So for this one that you just mentioned as an example, is a mannerism.
Yes.
Becomes if you will, a basis for the other spouse being offended, shocked and offended by the way he acts.
Yes,
basically. Wow.
When two people come together in marriage, they are two distinct people.
Okay.
Very, very different in different ways.
Okay.
We differ in gender. A man and a woman are very different people. In fact, the only thing that is common to the two of them is their relationship with God.
Okay.
The way to salvation, maturity, and the way to heaven. Or aside from that, every other thing we are different. We are different physically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, and everything. Even spiritually. Some women are more inclined to spiritual things than men because it's easy for us to admit helplessness and lean on something or somebody. It's not so, because men are logic and they are very independent. They think they can manage things on their own. And then we also so the male and female gender are different, and that will create conflict. Then we are also, every human being is a unique individual. There are no two people, and as I said earlier, we get attracted to our opposite. So maybe the introvert men will go for the extrovert women, while the extrovert men will go for the introvert women. So when we marry, we get attracted by our strengths, but then when we start living together, we realize that things are different. Sometimes the family where we are coming from, just as the young man was saying, his mother made banku in a certain way, so his wife should do that. But they are two different people. Or somebody, a woman may say that my father buys rice in bags, your big bags, sacks. But the husband may be able to afford just a long one at a time, or even majority.
One buttercup.
One buttercup. So they'll be different. So when we compare, we are all wired differently. Yes. And then we also enter into marriage with our spirituality. For us Christians, we know that we shouldn't be unequally yoked. But we may marry from a different denomination. Let's say a Catholic may marry a Pentecost person. There will be issues. An Anglican may marry a Baptist. There will be differences that they will have to iron out. And even in the same church or the same denomination, different levels of maturity or intimacy with God. So a husband may think that 15 minutes prayer is okay. A wife may say, let's use 1 hour for worship.
1 hour. Fire the
hour. And then for every marriage, we have roles to play. A man's role is to love the wife. Wife, loving her means it's not sex or just romance, because if a woman is not happy in her marriage, she doesn't even care about her romance, and or she will just comply to get what she needs from, or just so that peace. But deep in her heart, it's not there. So love means understanding. Love means listening. Talking is part of a woman's makeup, and a woman, if you are a talker, you need a listener. And some of the things we love to talk about are not so important for men. Men were made to God made them to be the heads, the leaders, the protectors, the teachers, and the providers of the family. So they think about big issues of like they demand the nation, the community, things like that, and other things. And then they also head the family. So they are thinking about what to eat. They are thinking about build after the wedding. A woman, all she cares about is a ring. She's now a missus. That's what. So when you are working, you position
you flag your hand a little.
That's what we think about. We think about dresses, cooking, and all. A man thinks about a house, a car, and other things to support the family. So little things are not really big issues for him. But a woman's world is made out of little details. So for a woman, if she comes from a background where the price or birthdays are acknowledged, and you forget her birthday or her child's birthday, she say you don't love her.
You are in trouble.
You say you don't love her. So we are thinking about, hairstyle. We are thinking about new dress, new shoe, getting this, getting that, but the man is looking at the big issues. And I think the woman also was made to take care of the little details to enhance a man's life. There are when a man is thinking about big issues, he may not see the potholes on the way, but the woman can be his alert. She can alert him, and she be her soundboard. His soundboard, yes. So she's the enhancer. She enhances the man. A wife is like yeast to bread. If you make a dough, there's no yeast, it will not expand. So a woman takes what a man is and expands him. So you see, when a brothers marry, after some time, you see that their cheeks are becoming
they get rosy cheeks.
Yeah, rosy cheeks and all that. So we help. So because of that because of the difference, so what may be important to a woman may not be important to a man. And the little things we claim you don't love us. For instance, if it's time to pay the electricity bill and you don't pay and the lights are taken out off, a woman will say that you don't love me. Or the children are sent home for school fees. She said you don't love me and all that. But because she sees everything connected, if you don't meet the needs of my family, my children, and a woman's child is an extension of her. She sees her child as an extension of herself. So if you hit her child, unnecessarily, or you over discipline her child, she will not be happy with you and all that. So these are the differences. And then a woman's role is to enhance the man. She's his mirror. So you can look at in fact, somebody has said that if you want to know who a man is, don't look at him, look at his wife. So a woman is a reflector of the love or the lack of love in her life. If you see a woman who is happy in their marriage, she feels loved, she feels accepted, her husband listens to her, he encourages her, and he makes her feel like she's a human being. She's a happy woman. Very so house that you will see Mrs. Billy Graham or Mrs. Fighting for women's liberation movement, because they are satisfied in their home. It's those who have been hurt or not treated well somewhere, somehow, that fight for those things. And then there are roles to play. The man's role is to love the woman, and the woman's role is to respect her husband. So God made it in such a way that our roles also meet the deep emotional needs of the other,
of each other.
So a man's need is to be respected, to be admired, to be looked up to be allowed to lead. Yes. And so a woman says, God says submit, and the submission is that you obey, you put his needs and interest first. And then a woman's
many people don't believe, sorry to say, many women in our generation don't believe in this submission thing.
Yes, because they see submission as becoming like a doormat for the man to walk, not. But it's not so. And the reason why we have problems in it is that everybody wants the other person to play his role, so his or her role, so that he will do. If my husband, loves me, then I will respect him. And if she respects me, then I will love her. And it doesn't work. God doesn't. These commands are. They are not conditional. They are unconditional. So you do your part, and the Lord will see to the other person. And God does not hold us responsible for the other person's behavior. He rather holds us responsible for our reaction.
Okay.
Yes, I got this from the way, in John 28, when God gave Peter his commission, and then Peter asked Jesus, what about John?
Okay.
And Jesus said, if I want him to live before till the time I return, is that your business? So I realize God doesn't want us to concentrate on our relationship with him and not how the other person behaves. We need to pray for them, encourage them, correct them when there's opportunity, but we will not be held responsible. So we need to do our part. So when you want the other person to do his or her part before you move out, then you are wrong. That's why many people want to get out.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned that in the marriage the woman becomes the man's sounding board to him, to kind of enhance him and enlarge him. However, if you will, in the manifestation of the woman's characteristics to help the man in that way, depending on the approach, do you see this creating conflict that leads to fighting or resentment and frustration in the marriage? You have those encounters. And why does that happen? Sometimes,
you see, it's the way we approach the other person. We all, every human being is selfish, to one degree or the other, and we protect ourselves. So you may be right, but if you do it the wrong way, the other person will be defensive or will rebel. Let's say if you are a woman, maybe what you are saying is right, but you are making the man feel that you are his mother or his headmistress and not his wife. Then he will rebel. And sometimes it's the way we handle the other people that make these things happen. I feel that sometimes the other person's weakness is not so much the weakness that is, in them, but they may be reacting to the way we also of the way we are handling them. Somebody may know, a man may know that, or a woman may know that I'm wrong in this area. Maybe between me and God, I'm even praying for God to help me. But every day is like you are never, you keep pointing fingers, you keep blaming.
Why do women always use never, always like that? Because it seems like, sorry, I know a lot of women will cut off my head after today, but no problem. But it seems like very, very common. Even if it's just maybe 2-3 occasions, a woman will say always, or
you never.
Why? I just am wondering why. Is it a language encoded in the DNA of women or something?
Sometimes you are so hurt.
So they have to exaggerate.
You have to prove, or you feel threatened. Or something. I can't deny that sometimes we exaggerate, but the thing is that I don't remember the exact details, but when I was married, the first 5 years are the problem areas. If you are able to go through the first,
I was going to come to that. How many usually the shockers, if you will, or the shock period for the newlyweds, how long does it last? So that people will kind of brace themselves and say, it shall pass. For those who are probably listening and beginning to worry, how long will it take?
Technically, research believes that it's 1 to 5 years.
The first 5 years.
The first 5 years.
Ooh, that's a long time.
It will come.
That's a long time.
The thing is that when I got married, my husband was a laid-back person. He took his time forever to do anything. And I was a type of, I didn't want people to point fingers. So you want things to be done fast. And correct and, perfect and all that. So remember one morning we had breakfast and there was something he needed to do. I don't even remember now. So I started nagging. Then he got up, went to the bedroom, and I followed him there. He left me, went to the sitting room, and I followed him there. Then he looked at me and said, "Oh, woman, woe unto man."
I like him already.
He's dead and gone.
Woe unto man.
Woe unto man.
This was how many years have you been married when that happened?
Oh, that must have been 7, maybe 2 years.
2 years.
2
Okay.
years.
Wow. Okay. So it stands to reason clearly that more, if you will, all newlyweds goes through this shockers in respect of the character, the mannerisms that probably may create conflict, resentment, and frustration and stuff like that, which may lead, if you will, some people in our current generation to say, listen, we're not compatible anymore. I mean, I don't know if you've heard it. Where people,
I've heard it
people, you see people who are so in love with each other get married, and then within a year or so they say we're not compatible anymore, or we fell out of love, all because of this shockers. Okay, so knowing that this can happen within maybe the first 5 years of the marriage, how should they manage the period when the shock or the shockers begin to be birthed?
I think that is the foundation of the marriage is very, very important.
Okay.
First and foremost, marriage is like a triangle.
Okay.
You have the Lord at the top there,
okay,
the husband and the wife,
okay,
at the the bottom.
Okay.
But the relationship between each and the Lord is crucial to the relationship between the two of them. So if, however sweet the marriage may be, however exciting the marriage may be, they should each have a relationship and deep one with God.
Okay.
Because when he gives the love, he gives the patience, he gives the grace to wait and to help us understand each other.
Okay.
Then the foundation of the marriage is the material.
Okay.
Yeah, as one my pastor said, they charge people for roadworthy certificates, and then but do we have roads that are car worthy? I also say that, are you marriage worthy?
Yes.
The foundation is very, very important. There are some people who just want to marry, and in fact, I went to America some years ago and I was listening to an old lady who used to be a comedian.
Okay.
She married 3 times, and he said, she didn't blame the men at all, but she was the difficult person. All she wanted was the fanfare of the wedding day.
Okay.
After the wedding day, it was difficult to live with her. Yes. So the material is very, very important. There are 3 things that are important if you want to marry somebody. Maturity. Yeah. A person who is mature is a right marriage material. A mature person sees that marriage is not I, me, and myself. I'm married to somebody who is equally important. That person's interests, that person's needs, that person's, everything about that person is as important as mine. So it's not like keeping to, some people marry and they keep to the old, timetable, time with the boys, they don't come home, they don't this. Sometimes it's not bad things, but they just focus so much on work that they don't have time for hope. And the time you realize you don't even know your own family, you don't know your wife well, you don't know your husband well, especially in this generation where we chase money, we make everything money. But money is a bad company. So as one expert said, if you want to be happy, don't marry. But if you want to make another person happy, then marry. So marriage it's not just a place of being, satisfied and happy and having pleasure. You're also going to invest in another person's life, just as the other person is going to invest in your life. So it's marriage is give and take. Okay.
Okay. All right. So people, in case you're listening, where you mentioned maturity.
Sensitivity.
Okay.
Sensitivity, we should be sensitive about where the person is coming from, the person's background. Okay. If you lived with a man who you didn't live with his mother, he's going to see you as his missing mother. Okay. And the mother is a comforter and encourager. Okay. And then also sensitivity to the person's need, emotional need, like what I've said, the man needs respect, the woman needs love. And then sensitivity according to our temperaments or personality. People who are happy-go-lucky, sanguines, they need attention, acceptance, approval. Cholerics, they're fighting when they're here. They need acknowledgement, they need loyalty, and they need to be appreciated. Then the introverts, the melancholies, they need sensitivity, they need space, silence. There are people who you have to study them. There are times when they want to be on their own. They don't want to have any talking thing. So you need and give them their space, and they don't like noise. And then they are also the last one, the phlegmatics. They like peace at all costs.
Okay.
And so they don't like strife. They don't like quarrels, and they also like loyalty, and they like to be appreciated.
Okay.
They like to be loved for who they are and not so much what they do.
Okay.
So we should know all these. Then sacrifice. Every marriage you need to we will sacrifice. We just not going to only to get, but also to give, to make the other person's life, richer.
Okay. Clearly, the temperament differentiations in the spouses plays a key role in, if you will, being able to manage the issues of the shockers in the marriage. Okay, we're getting people was discussing the postmarital shockers. We've had some comments on WhatsApp. Okay, I think we're going to read a few, and then maybe shortly we will open the phone lines if you can join us. One says, Reverend Nia will say, my first shock with my wife was when we had an argument, and she really beat me, and neighbors had to come and rescue. Lord help me. Your wife beat you. Oh, sorry. She turned your life around. Okay. So, so for instance, if you're a man, you're married, and at the first instance of marital, if you will, some situation, and your wife beats you, what will you do? What should you do?
Your wife.
Is it a safe marriage?
I wonder. No, okay. But some things can be worked out.
Okay.
Some of these shockers, some of these character issues
you never know that your wife can beat you.
So next time you talk well.
And at this stage, I want to flip it around, because what if it was the man beating his wife? Okay, whichever way it is wrong. But how do you and maybe you never saw it coming. You didn't think that the spouse was abusive and will be physically abusive towards you and stuff. When you see that, which is comes as a shock to you, what do you do? How do you manage the relationship going forward?
I would pray first for wisdom.
Okay.
And for God to help me. Then I believe that however difficult a person is, there are moments when they can be, reasonable. They can then you register your displeasure. Okay. Some of them will apologize because it's something beyond them. Okay. They don't really want to do it, but they don't know because of maybe their upbringing and things they went through when they were growing. So it has made them, they have grown to be abusive and violent without knowing. They will apologize. And if a person like that is apologetic, then you find a way of giving him professional help and a prayer so that.
But there are those good, but there are those who will beat you, apologize, another time do it again. I mean, it becomes repetitive.
Maybe that's what I'm saying, sir. Maybe it's a bondage that needs to be broken.
Okay.
If they are, inclined to prayer, they can be helped through deliverance or through counsel.
Okay. Mauli from Techiman says, I was shocked when my wife told me in our first time of eating together after marriage that we are to share meat or fish equally when we eat. But that was opposite when we were dating. Okay, when we were dating, what was happening? She made you add all the meat and the fish. Now you share it equally. 50-50.
Some people hide a lot during courtship.
Wow.
That's why it's important to pray and then also take your time. The thing is that when people rush into sex, they are no longer objective. They are no longer, watching
thinking
and saying, thinking. So they miss some of these things.
Okay. All right. Most attitudes that breaks marriages are hidden at the time of courtship. People are still in some marriages because they don't want to be talked about, and also the fear of the unknown. And that's from Daniel Akofo in Tema Committee 22. Daniel, you're right on the money there. Okay, one says, hello, can I forgive when I don't forgive myself? Because I can forgive that person, but it is always on my mind. You didn't say your name though. 1 month, okay, I want to read this one. Okay. Hi, good evening. 1 month into marriage, my noble, gentle husband, whom I thought I knew and trusted, gave me a shock of my life. I found naked pictures of different ladies sent to him. Naughty WhatsApp messages exchanged with different ladies he's having affair with. I cried my heart out that night. I found out, and I nearly called it quit. This is a major shocker for her. So how would she manage that? For instance, you married somebody you thought you trusted, he was a total gentleman and everything, and then not knowing he's actually seeing other women behind your back and stuff like that. When this shocker is discovered, how should the lady manage it? It can be the opposite as well.
It takes time to get over that thing, so you get over it for yourself.
Okay.
And then if you have some people you can trust to help pray with you, because for a woman it can be very shattering. Very, very shattering, and it will take time. And then if the person, a person like that, if a person is promiscuous, it means that he needs help.
Okay.
It's not normal.
Okay. Nana Kwame in someone says, "Osofo, I had a shock of my life 3 months after my marriage. Apparently, the food she claimed to have prepared for me were made by her mother. Oh, Lord help me." Okay, says Pastor, I don't play with my meals, and I have now to resort to eating outside because she can't get it right. And she won't simply seek help. For moms, she's not bothered cooking anything, and anytime I raise the matter, she gets upset. I can only assume that's the cross I have to bear for the rest of my marriage life. I feel trapped to suffer. Wow, this is heavy. This is heavy.
Food issues. It's disappointing, but it shouldn't be because we are living differently from our great grandmothers who were sacked because they couldn't cook.
Okay. But she could get help from her mother if actually the mother could do the cooking and give it to her to bring home, pretending that she was the one doing the cooking. Why couldn't she go to the mother to say, "I want to learn now"?
Yes, and there are even schools. There are schools at the weekends. I think there was one by the Baita.
There are a lot of places.
They can
lot of places that you can learn from. Okay, so one says it was indeed okay. I had my major shock after 16 years in a happy marriage. Wow. Okay, Mom, you mentioned that usually the shocker period is within the first 5 years. But from experience, you probably would have seen others that probably go beyond some 10 years, 20 years, and that kind of stuff. This one is similar. It says, I had my major shock after 16 years in a happy marriage when I discovered my husband had a mistress with 2 children. Oh, Jesus. Abena said, very difficult for till 2 years down the line. It was indeed a beautiful marriage. Everybody envied. Wow. How should she manage this one?
This one, she should not quit. She should forgive and go on. You see, sometimes those who have made the mistake, they may have been victims of circumstances. Sometimes a man may do that, but you don't know. Maybe the other woman was too strong for him, and she overpowered him. And it's true.
You suppose the man was raped to have 2 children outside the man.
Sometimes it's
this is
I was watching a film this weekend. It's like the man was in an illicit relationship and it was hurting his marriage. So he went to see the lady and said that we are breaking now. And so a woman like that will suddenly break into tears, make you feel guilty and not. By the time you realize you are hooked again.
Okay, so maybe you can join us on the phone lines. Call numbers 0302216541. We're talking about post-marital shockers. What is your story? How did you manage it? How is that helping you? Listen, you're sharing your bit will help somebody out there today. It doesn't matter which period you experience. Some people get the shockers on the day of the marriage. The very day the marriage was executed, by evening they were faced with major shockers that was making them say, okay, marriage is over. Very day. I don't know what your story is. I mean, some of it because of counseling, confidentiality, we can't go into the story, but we'll leave it there. Maybe you want to share yours. Let's hear you. You can call 0302216541. Again, 0302216541. You can join us on the phone lines now. You're responding. Says she always allow her mother to cook in her kitchen when the mother visits. Okay, so that's how she gets the food for you. She can learn. Truly, she can learn from the mother if she wants. Because, I think we have a message from the USA. Na says, my husband lost his job a month after marriage. He changed from the sweet man I know. I was so shocked. For almost 6 months, he changed because he didn't have money and no job to contribute to the home. I guess he was feeling deflated and his ego bruised.
Yeah.
Very common,
isn't
it?
Yes, because the man is, he finds his meaning in life is respect, self-confidence, and self-esteem in his work, his productivity. So if he's not working and the woman is rather the man, managing the house, he doesn't feel...
Make him feel like a lady.
And sometimes the women, we may be doing...
We have a free on the line from East Legon. Hello, a free.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, thank you for joining us. Let's hear you.
Okay, I have 2 issues. First of all, my issue.
Okay.
We had a few shockers within the first 2 years.
Okay.
When he wasn't providing for the home.
Okay.
He would give only 100 cedis for a month for the home. And then when I got pregnant for our first baby, he wasn't paying antenatal services.
Wow.
Then when things got a bit bad, his mother asked him to pack and come back to stay with him because he was always going to his mother with complaints. And then later on, his mother flew him to United States. So whether we had to reconcile or whatever, we couldn't really make it work. And then he's been away now for about 5 years. So I filed a divorce and then we got divorced. So sometimes the shockers, though they are manageable, but when they are not really managed well, it can end up in a permanent
separation or divorce. Wow.
Okay, my second thing too is Mrs. Flora, does she run a counseling class session so that we can attend? How do we get in touch?
Okay, well, she will give her number after we finish so that you can get in touch with her. Okay? Okay. Thank you.
So in my issue, how could it have been managed?
Okay, so she will respond to it. So just stay tuned, okay? Stay tuned. Let's talk to Francis in Tema. Hello, Francis.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm by grace. I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm so grateful to God that I have the opportunity to hear you today. I live in Bolgatanga.
Okay.
And so I'm here shortly and I just tuned to the station.
Okay.
Praise God for your life. But please tell Madam if we can get her number, she must also prepare to visit us in Bolga.
Okay.
I tell you, we need her.
You need, okay.
There's something she said that I haven't heard. I haven't listened to many, but I haven't heard anybody talk about.
Okay.
I think she talked about this woman in advocacy, this kind of equality and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
Talking about the fact that the women who are fulfilled are not involved in some of those things, but those who have been hurt or mishandled somehow.
Yeah.
That is one point to her credit. Please, I have a challenge on my hands and I need help.
Okay.
There is a marriage that is almost breaking. It was almost breaking. By God's grace, I've been able to bring the man and the woman to a table.
Okay.
They are almost agreeing to come together again. I mean, they have been living together, but in different rooms and not doing things together for over 3 years. Now, they are ready to come together. But the man wants them to go for a medical test. Okay. Specifically HIV.
Wow.
He has a reason that cannot be substantiated with evidence. I mean, evidence that cannot be disproved.
Okay. Wow.
Personally, I have an evidence that I've not even shared with the man.
Wow.
Where the woman was said to have traveled out of town, but was seen by my wife at night with a man walking hand in hand in a secret place in town. And for 3 days, she was supposed to be out of town, but she was in town.
Wow.
I've not been able to share with the man. So we have a conviction that, yes, she was sleeping with other men. Okay. But she is taking that one to be an accusation that she's defending. You know, she's trying to disprove it.
Okay.
I mean, I can't even use the word disprove because we have not been able to bring this to her. That we are sure we know this.
You say that you have the evidence you have to prove that.
Okay. Yes. I've not been able to speak it to any of them.
Okay.
How do we help this? Because the woman is so resistant, she will not go for the test. The man says, I will not sleep with this lady until this is done.
Wow.
I'm in a fix now.
Okay.
Because that seems to be the only challenge now between them.
To bring them together.
To bring them together.
Okay. All right, Francis, I think Aunt Flora will deal with this, so you stay tuned, okay? All right. Ma'am, how do we handle this? Evidence is there. They have it. The man doesn't know.
Yeah.
The man has suspicion for which reason he probably said, okay, let's do it before. Okay, I know that you have slept with other people, but I want to be sure that when we come back together, my life is not in danger. So let's do. Woman says no. How do? And this is the only, if you will, the only stumbling block between their reunification. How do we deal with it?
I think if I was the man, I would insist that she takes the test, because it's a life and death issue.
Yeah.
If she really is carrying something, that will not destroy only one herself, but the man also.
Okay.
And I think she should go for the test.
She should. Okay. She should. All right, but our time is almost up. So next week, the first issue. Okay, which the lady who's had the husband, the mother shipped the man outside and left the man. How does she continue? Because now she said she has filed for divorce, and the divorce is final now. So how does she go forward?
She should start her life afresh.
Okay, all right. I think we're almost done. So your number, and then God willing, we'll continue next week. Okay. So, ma'am, your number, just in case somebody would need help, please. We beg of you.
Pearl will give them.
Michaela. Okay, so Michaela will send you the number via the Facebook page or the WhatsApp page. So keep your eyes locked on. Okay. All right. Well, our time is almost up. I mean, this is becoming very, but thank you very much, ma'am. In studio, we've had Mrs. Flora Ansaki. She's a family life educator and a counselor. Thank you so very much, ma'am, for being here tonight. It's been wonderful. Okay. All right. God bless you. So you can call 0302 216540. Okay, for Auntie Flora's number, and we'll pass it on to you. 0302 216541. You can book her for counseling sessions and for speaking to large audience, mostly couples or would-be couples and all that kind of stuff. That will help a great deal to kind of build a good foundation for our homes.